fun-loving people all, caught up in a frenzy of sound and rhythm, an ancient sound as old as mankind, as old as thunder and drums. But here is the modern version. This is the beat generation. Beat clubs are still new to this country. The first was opened less than 4 years ago in Dublin, when the Beatles were thumping and strumming their way to fame. Now there are in the region of 100, all laying claim to the name Beat Club. Some of the first beat clubs boasted profits as high as £1,000 a week. They were and still are operated cheaply. Membership is as low as a couple of shillings, and admission can be as reasonable as 1 6 a night. Some clubs admit youngsters of 13 and 14, but this one, Club Arthur in Dublin, opens its doors to the 18 to 22 age group, and its rules are stricter than most clubs. If you're caught kissing a girl in one of its dark corners, you may be kicked out for good. But even so, older people are suspicious of what goes on. Michael Ryan, who's a member of a band and a director of Club Arthur, gives what he believes to be the reason why.
Well, older people are squares, is what most people would say, you know. But I think mainly because beat clubs are in cellars, they're in basements. This is in actual fact a very practical requirement of a beat club. It has to be in a cellar. It has to insulate the day people from the ferocious noise and from the teenagers. Also, the beat clubs are usually in the centre city areas where they're accessible to large numbers of teenagers, and whereas the nicer rugby club types are usually out in the suburbs and surrounded by nice green playing fields. I think also the main thing is ignorance. As I say, despite all these requests, we've just had 6 parents down.
Well, my mother knows I come here, and I've asked her to come down here a lot of times, but she didn't yet, but maybe she will sometime. Oh, my mother knows everybody, because I've met so many friends here, and then she's met them, and she likes, and she knows everybody. And she thinks they're great, you know.
Oh, my mother knows I'm here, yes.
Nowadays, club operators are more modest about how much money they're making. Annual membership is higher than ever, averaging perhaps 10 to 15,000 per club. And they're supposed to operate a strict vetting system for new members. Under present legislation, it seems foolproof. New members have to be proposed and seconded before being finally passed by a committee. But not all clubs are so efficient. But whether or not profits have come down since the first rash of clubs opened, running costs have undoubtedly gone up. Between rates and rents, bands and bouncers, the bill can be as much as £200 a week. And with success for the beat clubs has come frustration. Rowdiness and over-exuberance inside and out of some of the clubs has focused special attention from the police. Their visits have become frequent. There have been rumours of drug-taking and sexual misbehaviour, but so far, no evidence of it. Parents have naturally become more worried by the goings-on of their teenage children, and the general term beat club has caused anger from the pulpit. At least one priest has roundly condemned them as dens of iniquity.
Well, I agree that possibly where you have so many teenagers and so many young people going down into cellars and basements, that a lot of people would have grounds for calling them dens of iniquity. But usually the people who make these accusations have never actually been in a beat club. For example, the invitation which we've extended at large to the press and indeed on television to the mums and dads to come down and have a look have largely been ignored. We've had about 6 parents down there, and of those, probably 4 came down to collect their offspring, rather than to come down and see what's going on.
Well, are they dens of iniquity? Now, you've invited the parents to come here. They don't appear to have come in great numbers. Are they dens of iniquity?
Well, this one is not, certainly not.
Well, are they evil places?
No.
Are they dangerous places?
The well-run ones, certainly not.
But the music itself can be primitive. It has an animalistic sort of beat about it. It's sexy.
Oh, I don't know about it being sexy. Certainly it's hypnotic. It seems to propel these teenagers out onto the floor, and they go through these dances, which can appear suggestive, but usually they appear suggestive only to adults, and usually to people you might call dirty old men. Certainly if you just look at the kids' faces, you know that they're not doing anything suggestive, or they don't intend to be suggestive. The movements of the dances are not sexy, not intentionally sexy.
Well, are you trying to develop a sexy atmosphere in a club like this?
Oh, no, certainly not. The atmosphere in a beat club is one which is conducive to dancing, somewhere where the teenagers can come wear what they want to wear the clothes that they like, in surroundings that are complementary to their clothes, and surroundings which allow them to be themselves.
It's not really a way out mad beat club.
The atmosphere is totally different here. You can dance a lot easier to it, you know, down here to the beat music.
These clubs are designed specifically for teenagers to dance in, rather than a dance hall, for example, which is usually square and usually very functional, but certainly has no character, no personality.
Well, when you go into an ordinary dance hall, there's so many people, and you know, you might dance with one fellow and you might never meet him for the rest of the night, you know.
I can't seem to find that atmosphere in any other club or in the normal dance hall. You can more or less come in casual wear. When a dance hall, you really couldn't, you know.
Oh, it's just teenagers that are in the fashion and just like beat music and, you know, like to get to know people.
It was more like a jungle than to an ordinary club. I find that this is a paradise.
Mind you, the fuddy-duddies who come down seem to be a bit knocked out with the whole operation of the thing. Certainly any of the older people have come in for the first time. They've been amazed that this is going on in quiet Dublin.
There's a respectable atmosphere about it, do you feel?
I would say there's an exciting atmosphere, and certainly it's not a disrespectful one, but it's not a very goody-goody atmosphere, if you know what I mean. There aren't people sitting around with their hands folded. Well, they're certainly enjoying themselves and they're dancing around, and they'll have their collar open, and generally an atmosphere of enjoyment and carefree.
The groups here they play all the time, they're fantastic.
This is really fantastic.
The groups here are fantastic.
It's amazing the difference it makes when you have a good group, the way you feel.
The groups that play here I think are excellent.
The groups they have and the bands they have seem